Hello ladies, how are you all today? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well myself. I'm here today ready to have some fun with my cup of coffee and so I wanted to do a makeup tutorial. I haven't really done much makeup lately. I've been doing nails, so I wanted to pop a little makeup in there. And so I already did my foundation, my cream concealer, and my cream contouring. I've done my translucent powder. I've done some corrective stuff. But that's pretty much it, just kind of the basics. I've done my primer. I'll put in the description box down below what products I used if you guys are interested in that. Excuse me. And so I just didn't want the video to drag on, and I wanted to do today, I'm going on a visit with my daughter, so it's something where I need to look mom appropriate. And just like in a lot of family situations, we need to look a certain appropriate. We can't be doing, you know, sunsets on our eyelids to go see grandma a lot of the times, you know. With some grandmas you can, but you know what I mean. So, or if you have court, or you have just anything like that. But I'm gonna want to put a little twist on it and add some color into it, and not just do like a pink, but I wanted to do like a fall look. I thought that would be appropriate. And so if that sounds like something that you guys are interested in, then let's get started. All right, so what I would like to do is do some powder contouring to add. I feel the bronzing kind of adds, like, to, it's been all summer long and you've gotten tan, you know, kind of look. That golden look really goes with the bronze. So I was going to use one of my face palettes, but I'm going to use a different one. Just give me 1 second to grab it. Sorry about that, guys. So this one has been my go-to forever, and if you've seen any of my other makeup videos, I know I don't have too many, but it's Golden Sugar's Rose Gold Glow Kit by Paris Hilton, and this has some really warm golden type colors, which is what I'm looking for. So I'm going to use that instead of, I was going to use my Ulta face palette, but the matte bronze doesn't really have that golden. It has more of a cool tone to it than the warm tone I was looking for. I will be using the blush out of that though. But so I'm going to be going in with this summer color up here. It's a little more golden, so I wanted to go with that. So I'm using my contour brush by e.l.f. Just placing that here in the hollows of my cheek. And if you don't know how to find the hollows of your cheek, just make fishy face. See how it carves that right out? I know it sounds silly and stupid, but it works. That's really how I learned where my contour spots were in the beginning. So I was using the big contouring brush. Now I'm going to use a nice small brush. This is by Vander. I got this from Wish. It was a whole kit, and it was actually pretty good brushes, but I replaced a lot of them with like my e.l.f. brushes, like my eyeshadow brushes and stuff like that. But a lot of the brushes are really good. I love that they have all these little brushes for detailing. So we're going to do the contour around the nose. We're going to do the little bridge right here of your nose to give yourself a little bit more of a button nose type look. I already kind of have a button type shaped nose. I'm actually very lucky in that department. But it does bring it out more. Oh, I dropped that, and that's fine, I guess. So we're going to next take our blending brush, and we're going to take this little nifty thing, which is a sponge placed in a tin, and you rub your brush on it, and it takes off any previous colors that you've been using or powders. It will take them right off, because I was doing some Halloween makeup the other day practicing. So that we will definitely be having a video coming up of that. So I was doing contouring with purple. Make sure my mirror that that's not coming out purple. So we're gonna blend this in nicely. And we're gonna have a little bit of strong contouring today. Even though it's a day look and you usually want to do light or not even do contouring really, I wanted to do some, just like I said, to add some of that golden tone to my skin, because I don't have any of that. I'm very pale skinned, as you guys can tell. So I think it'll add to our look that we're gonna do today. Okay. Let me just grab one more thing. Just wanted to grab one more palette. So now we're gonna go across and do our highlighting. If I can find my highlighting brush, here it is. Just a fan brush. This is an unknown where it came from. I bought some kit off of Amazon, and like honestly they almost all sucked. I kept like 3 of them. The eyebrow brushes were all just huge fluffy brushes, and it was just not very good. So if you see the unicorn set on Amazon, I do not recommend that. So we're going to be going in with Daydream, which is a little bit lighter of an illuminatingly, I guess, if that's a word. Probably not, and I just made myself look real stupid, but it doesn't illuminate quite as much as this white one down here, so it's got a little more of a rosy tone to it, so we're going to use that. And we're just going to go down the nose. I'm actually going to rub this in a little more. Realize how dark it looks. I think it's the light, but yeah, because it doesn't look as dark on that side. So down the nose, above our brow arches. But this does still have like quite a bit of illumination to it, and it's more illuminating than like glittery. That's why I want to use that word instead. Cupid's bow. And you'll notice I haven't done my cheeks yet, because I like to do my blush first so that my blush doesn't end up covering up my highlighter. So I got a, I'm not sure if, no, I didn't tell you guys. I got a kit from Ulta from buying so many products. I got a free gift, and it had this face palette in it. It had some brushes in it. It had a bunch of stuff in it, and I'll get into that in another video. But I'm going to be using the face palette. I'm going to be using this nude pink, yes, matte nude pink blush with the brush that came along with it. I love the marble handle. I think that's beautiful. But this blush color is actually like almost a perfect color for me, which is great, because I've had a hard time finding blush that you see in the container and it ends up looking right on your skin. So I'm a light pink kind of blush. So I have pinky undertones. Hold on, I'm going to turn this light up. That looks a little better, I think. Well, you can't really see this side of my face. So we're going to turn this light back on. There we go, so you can see that side. The light on this side of the room, even though the light is on this side of the room, is absolutely terrible. So I have to get another standing lamp to put on this side. So just bear with me for now, guys, please. So we did our blush, so now we just got to do our highlight above our cheeks. Alright, we'll keep that highlighter palette around because we may need to use it again. We can put our brush away. So now we are going to get started on the eyes. So first we're going to prime the eyes, and I'm going to be using, once I find it, here it is. That also came in the kit that Ulta sent me, was a matte eye primer in nude. So we're going to be using that. Ooh, my lights just flickered a little bit for some reason. I wonder why. Okay, anyways, moving on. So I'm just going to squirt a little bit of this on my finger, split it up, and pat it all on here. My lights keep flickering for some reason, and I'm hoping that the power doesn't go out, because that would really just make my video. Let me turn off my air conditioner. Maybe there's a little bit too much power going from one spot. You guys can probably hear me better as well. I didn't even think about that. I apologize. So we're priming the eyes. You can use a concealer stick. Just don't mind the flashing lights a little bit. Probably will go away in a minute or so. You can use a concealer brush to do that if you want. I just prefer to use my finger. It works just the same. Doesn't make much of a difference. So just before, we're going to let that set, but before we get into that, we are going to do the dreaded eyebrows. So this is always kind of dreaded to me, but I've seemed to be getting the hang of it lately. So first I'm going to be using Maybelline's Tattoo Studio 380 Deep Brown. And I'm going to be using this to outline. Wow, that's really intense. I wonder what's going on. So I'm going to use this to outline my brows. And excuse me, I hope you guys can see I have to look in the mirror to do this part. And that line is not straight, so we're just going to wipe that off. Which is the great thing about having foundation on and everything, is it kind of just wipes right off. And we all make mistakes, so. I've been trying out this new brush, so I'm trying to get used to it. But it's I love it. It's a very tiny, tiny little brush. There, you can probably see it real well right there. And it's great for outlining. I'm going to be doing kind of a thin brow today. Not super thin, but not exceptionally bushy. Something a little more sleek. And I like to fill my tail end in with the darker pomade, because then I will be going in with Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in Taupe. So you guys can see the color of that. See the difference between the two. How much darker and lighter. So, and the Anastasia one is stays very moist and soft, which is very nice. So we're going to start here at the beginning, and we're just going to flick up. This brush is really good for that. And fill in any spots that you might have. You don't have to fill in every little inch. That's why it's good to always have like some cotton swabs around. case you get somewhere you don't want it, but we can fix that. There we go. I have a pencil that'll fix that as well. So then we're also going to be using NYX's Control Freak Brow Gel. But first I'm going to go in with the Brow Contour Pro Pencil by Benefit. And they have a deeper shade. I'm going to use that. And I'm just going to kind of fix this line here a little bit. And then it also has a definer, which is almost like when you go over it with concealer, that I can use to shape this out a little better. There we go, that's much better. So we're just gonna go over it with the, oh, that's not even it. I have something that's the same color and everything. Control Freak by NYX. It's just clear brow gel. I brush them up a little bit. Don't worry if you get a little bit of product transfer, because honestly all you have to do is this, and the eyebrow stuff usually comes right off, at least in my experience. So we're going to move on to our next eyebrow. And this one I took a bit of a chunk out of, so this one's a little bit harder to work with, but so I have a bigger space to fill in. See how I have that bigger space, but I just fill it in with that nice dark tone. Fill in the tail with the darker of the two. And then I'm going to go to my top, the Anastasia. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I hope I'm saying it right. And you want to start at the beginning and just flick up to make hair-like strokes. And then just go in and fill it in. Alright, and then we're going to go over it with the Control Freak. And like I said, you can just wipe it off. So I'm also going to do the same thing I did on the other one and use the definer on this pencil to straighten out my bottom line. Alright, and then there's also a highlighter on here, so we're going to use that as well and do under our arch. Actually, under most of the brow I'm going to go. And you only want to scroll this up a little bit or else it'll break off. Actually going to fix that line a little bit. Oh, I'm dropping everything. There we go. Okay, so now we are done with the eyebrows. Make sure that we are matching. Well, we are sisters, not necessarily matching. So remember that, guys. Oh, I have a little spot here I need to fill in. Okay. And I know one thing, I will admit, I am not the best when it comes to brows. So I do my best and show you guys as best I can. Maybe mine don't always turn out as fabulous as they could, but I do try my best and can give you at least the best information on how to do them. So maybe you can just do a better job. So it's just hard because I have black eyebrows, so filling them in when they're patchy is hard without making it look blocky. So it's just something that I've been working on. Anyhow, so now we're going to get down to the fun part. So we're going to be using some Scotch tape. Just your everyday, regular, good old Scotch tape. And we're going to be putting this right here, or where you would like your makeup to end, and eyeliner, to stop any fallout and to make a nice sharp line. So that's a little bit of what we're going to use to make it look a little more fun. We're going to use a little bit of a sharp line. So we're going to be doing kind of a burgundy and gold. So I have my Morphe 35M palette with me. Now, I don't know why they don't print them either on the back or on the front underneath the color, the names, because I always lose that stupid sheet. I always lose the stupid sheet. So I can't tell you the names of them, but I can point them out to you best I can. So we're going to be using that. We're going to be using from the gift set also this Ulta Beauty palette that has some nice golds in it and such, and some burgundies as well. So we're going to be using that, and I'm not quite sure what else yet may come about, but that's what we're going to be using so far. And we're going to be doing pretty much like a burgundy and gold cut crease. That's basically what we're going to end up doing. So we're going to get our first brush, which is going to be, this is actually a concealer brush by e.l.f. But I like to use it to put a base coat of eyeshadow all over my eyes, and sometimes with my transition color, depending on if it's a very pigmented color, I don't, because then I end up with like huge swatch of, you know, eyeshadow. But if it's a light, creamy, shimmery pink, something like that, which we're going to use today, we're going to use the color Matte Peach out of the Ulta palette, and that is this one right here. See, this one, they were smart. They did it on the back for us people who lose things. So we're gonna get that good on our brush here. We're just gonna do it all over, all the way to the tape. And again, I am so sorry that you cannot see my right side as well as my left. But to tell you the truth, I usually do a better job on my left, so better it be that than the latter. We want to make sure we blend this in very well. Alright, it's a little darker on this, the other side, so we're going to add a little more here. Just build that color up a little bit. Because I do want that peach to actually show. So the next color we're going to be using, let me see. This Morphe palette has some beautiful burgundies. Is going to be this shade here. I'm going to be getting a smaller, as you guys all know, if you don't know, and case my brushes are behind my camera. So when I reach forward like that, that's when I'm grabbing my brushes. So I apologize for that. But I'm going to be using this. No, this wasn't the one I wanted. This e.l.f. Just fluffy blending brush. And I'm going to be using this color here to start with. And I'm just going to go kind of light. To start to build that burgundy shade up. Make sure you go all the way to your Scotch tape so that you get that nice line. Alright, I'm going to build a little more. But you can see it's starting to add dimension. One more time, add a little bit more depth. Okay, now we're going to go in with that smaller brush that I had last time. This one right here. Looks like it's got a little pink on it, so I'm going to take my little gadget here, and this thing really works so well. And believe me, I do not vouch for this for sanitizing excuse me, your brushes. This just gets the powder off from one color to the next. It does not clean your brushes. So the next shade I'm going to go in with is going to be this shade right here, which is right below the one we just used. Remember, not too heavy because the burgundy or the cranberry can get very overwhelming very quickly. And a little goes a long way. Okay, and now we're going to go in with one more color. You don't need to use this many colors. You could just do 2 if you wanted and do your cut crease. I just want a little bit more depth to the look. So I'm going to be using next, I'm going to be using actually this color up here, up top. And this I'm going to go real close to that crease. See that dimension that was added? But you could have left it just like this and it would have been fine as well. Okay, now I'm just going to take my big fluffy brush here and I'm going to go over it with that light pink color, that matte peach. We're just going to go over these edges a little bit to blend everything in. to take my smudging brush. First, we're going to take, there's a nice white in this palette, in the Ulta palette. We're going to use that to highlight above our brows. Or above our brows. Below our brows, I mean. I just realized I said that. What a dingbat. And then we are going to go back to our cranberry colors. And we are going to remove our tape. As you can see, there's a bit of fallout. So, but don't worry about that just yet. But see how we have that nice crisp line? So now we're going to go underneath. We're going to start with the first burgundy. And you want to stay kind of as close to your lash line as possible. That's why I like to use the smudge brush. So then I'm going to go in with the second one that we used. And then to the third. And make sure you're blending these in on the corners. There we go. All right, so next we are going to want to do our cut crease. So my favorite one to use is actually Run Out. Well, maybe not. Let me see. I like to use this one because it has a little, it's the tart shaped tape, but it's the tiny one. So it has this tiny little wand, and I can just use the wand to do my cut crease. Yeah, there's not really enough product left in there to do that, so we'll have to use, we'll use L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer, and we'll use a concealer brush. And even this one is they're all running low on me. I gotta get a new concealer. We're going to go just about to the end, but not quite, so we can blend in some of that burgundy in with the gold. And it'll look real nice. And the best tips I can give when doing a cut crease is to follow your eye socket. Like where the bone meets the eyeball. That's the best advice I can give. And not to worry about it being a perfect straight line, because when you can fix that up with eyeshadow, depending on the eyeshadow you're using. If you're using like a very pale color that barely shows up, probably not. You might want to be a little more precise. But if you're using another color then that's kind of bright, then you can do that. You don't have to be as precise. So we're going to go in with a gold. And I'm thinking I'm going to go with this gold here. And that one is called, I believe, Shimmer Bronze. So, and I might add some of that contour color depending on the color that this turns out to be. Yeah, because I want a little bit more. I'm going to put a layer of this down first. Oh, it's showing up a little more. A little more. Still don't know if I like the exact color. Yeah, so I'm going to take that highlighting palette that we used earlier, and I'm going to use that same summer color, this one right up here, and I'm going to add that on our cut crease. Oh, and look at that golden color. That is the golden color that I was looking for. So I'm still going to put down a layer of this gold. Just as sort of a base. And then we'll use the other one just to warm it up. It's got those nice warm gold tones in it. Make sure you get down to the lash line. Okay. So now that we've done our gold, I'm going to take our fluffy powder brush and sweep away any of the fallout. This is the best way to do it, I've found. Especially if you've baked, then you can wipe it right off. Excuse my allergies. So next, what I would like to do is some eyeliner. So I'm going to be doing, I don't know if this is exactly a gel. It doesn't say. It's Maybelline Eye Studio in Blackest Black, but it's more like a pomade than I think than like a gel. I don't know if you guys can like really see the texture of it. But, so I don't know if it's considered a gel or not, but I love it and it works great. And I use my same brush as I would with my eyebrow. I just make sure I rub the product off on my little sponge here. It works for the pomades as well, and concealers and such. So I'm just gonna dip into this a little bit. And this actually goes on really smooth. And I'm able to make a nice tight line to the lash line because I do have hooded eyes. So I can't really have a big, thick eyeliner line. It just doesn't look right. And it makes my eyes look more hooded. And you see the way I did my crease, I did my cut crease up above the actual crease because that way it makes my eyes look bigger. So now we're going to do the wing. I want to make sure you guys can see this. Draw it out, and you want to follow your line of your makeup. that the tape made. Could use a little cotton bud to fix that, but I'm not too worried about it. So now we're just evening out our line here. And I do have a little bump there, which I will fix. Make sure it comes to a nice point. And we did a pretty big wing here. Not sure if that's really how big I actually wanted it to be. So you know what? I'm actually going to, well, I thought I had some makeup wipes or something around, but I guess not. So we will just have to bear with and use what we got. So we're gonna dip in, because to be honest with you, I was looking into my phone as a camera so you guys could see well, and I wound up doing it a little too big, but that's okay. Alright, now we'll grab some more for the wing. There, that wing's much better than the one this one over here. I'll end up shortening up that one to more like this. See, I told you I always end up doing my left side better anyway. So you guys look out on that part. So now we're going to take out of that Ulta gift pack, I got a double eyeliner, brown and black. So we're going to be taking the black and doing our under eye right on the lash line. Make sure it meets up with your wing. And I'm not doing my waterline, I'm doing my right on my lash line. Just so you guys are clear. Alright, and next we will go to mascara. And I like to use, because I don't really have much eyelashes, so I like to use a primer first. So I'm going to be using today Maybelline Colossal Big Shot Tinted Primer. So you guys can see that. And then I'm going to be using NARS Climax. This is a new one I've been using lately. And see, I buy the trial size. I don't buy the big ones, girls. So don't think, you know, I'm portraying the everyday girl and living it up large, because that is not the case. So I just put a nice layer, and I always get it on my eyelid, like never fails. But it's okay, we'll get that off. And I like to sometimes put a layer on the top if my foundation or my, it seemed that the gold eyeshadow had gotten on my eyelashes and made them gold, obviously. So brushing the tops of them usually helps. And because this is like a light mascara, I really like it for my under lashes. Or my bottom lashes, whatever you'd like to call them. I think it looks amazing on the bottom lashes, so you guys can see that real well. So now I'll go in with the NARS Climax. Which I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of this mascara yet. I mean, it works well, but I don't think it's anything to like write home about or spend like $30 on, which is probably what it costs for the big size. And I know this look turned out to be a little bit more dramatic, maybe than planned, because I wanted it to be more of a day look, but I feel for fall that this is a fun day look. You know, you can lessen the wings, take the wings out if you'd like, and the underneath as much, and lighten it up a bit and make it more of a day look and do a little less contouring. So I feel like it's kind of became in the middle, and that's just kind of the way it turned out. But I think it turned out beautiful. I am going to put on a pair of lashes, and I'm going to use a pair of mine that are very, like, not very thick and intense, like a nighttime lash. Sorry for the noise. I can't get this stupid drawer open. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Jeez. And these are Adore, I believe. No, they are La Flare. And I honestly, I paid $5 for these. But they're really pretty. They're really good for a day look. And I'm not going to use tweezers because honestly I can't find any at the moment, and you don't really need them. Honestly, that was the easiest it was ever for me to apply a lash, and I did not use tweezers, so I'm going to jump on the no tweezers bandwagon, I think. My nails do help, I will say. They work like tweezers on their own. Get those right in place. All right. And so next and lastly, we have our lips. So I want to do something like a neutral lip, but glossy. So I am going to pick out my Tarteist Tarte glossy lip paint, and this is in Slay. So first with that Ulta kit came a lip liner, a double lip liner. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to use the mauve side, I believe, yes. Get off the foundation and stuff on your lips. I'm overlining just a little bit to add a little drama to the lip since we're doing a nude. And we want to fill in the lips all the way. And this pencil is great. It goes on nice and smooth. And then, oh, there it is. This is a beautiful color, I feel. I feel this really takes this look. And this is, if you would do a purely nude look, it would keep the look toned down, but I feel this amps it up a bit. And since we already had amped it up a bit, I figured why not do it a little bit more. So this nice mauve color I think looks great. And then this was by Jessie's Girl. I have no idea like what the color was or anything. It's all worn off, but it's a pearly iridescent lip gloss. I'll show it to you guys so you can see. And it's actually that color. And voila, we have our look. So, although this didn't turn out to be quite the day look I was actually going for, it did turn out to be a beautiful fall look, and that is what I was really going for. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. I just knocked everything off my table as we are ending here. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial and you got something out of it and you got a nice fall look. And I'll get nice and close so everyone can see. Close my eyes. That nice cut crease, I think with the cranberry looks beautiful, especially with the mauve lip. And I will be shortening that wing, by the way, when I get off of camera. So I hope you guys have a grand day, and I hope that if you try out this look and you like it, let me know in the comments below, and make sure you guys like and subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you know when I'm dropping a video. All right, girls, have a great day, and boys.